Hi, second graders. Today we are on our last day of our instruction book, and we are in lesson 13, and today we're going to be working on instruction book pages 122 and 123. And this is a good review for tomorrow's quiz, so really pay attention today and solve these problems as best as you can, and you should be well on your way to having a great test score tomorrow. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. Let's take a look at our first problem. It says, how can you show 203 plus 160? Circle all the correct answers. Remember, when it says that, it tells us that we have more than one correct answer. Now, before you just jump ahead and try to answer this question, let's set this up in our expanded form like we've been doing all week long, and that will help you to come up with the correct answers. So we're going to start with 203. Right underneath that we will write 160, and now we're going to write our expanded form. So 203 is the same as 200 plus 0 tens plus 3 ones. And 160 is the same as 100 plus 60 plus 0 ones. All right, now I'm going to let you finish that up. Go ahead and solve the problem, figuring out what the answer is in expanded form, and also figure out what the final answer is. And that is all going to help you try to figure out which ones of A, B, C, and D are correct. So you're going to pause the video and go ahead and fill in the rest of that expanded form problem that we worked on, and then see if you can find your answers. So pause the video now. Okay, I hope that you have finished filling out your expanded form and that you came up with answers A, C, and D as the correct answers. So let's just take a look and see why those are correct answers. A says 300 plus 60 plus 3. Well, when I look over at my expanded form, I can see that when I added all my hundreds, tens, and ones together, that's exactly what I got as my answer here, 300 plus 60 plus 3. So that's how I knew that A was correct. I looked at B, and I saw 300 plus 90. Well, I found the 300. I know where they found 300, but 90, I do not see that anywhere. I see a 60, I see 3. I just don't see 90 anywhere. So I knew that B was not correct. When I looked at C, I saw that they did 200 plus 100 plus 60 plus 3. And then I thought to myself, well, 200 plus 100 is the same thing I did right here. I added the 200 and 100, right? And I got 300 when I put that together. Well, they just left it separated. Okay, and then they also have the 60 and they have the 3. And so there's the 60 and there's the 3. So I knew that one was also going to be correct. And then when I saw D, I saw that they just switched the numbers around in different order, and that told me that that one was going to be correct too. So I hope you got the same answers that I did. All right, let's move on to number 2. It says Jane writes 700 plus 90 plus 9 to add 2 3-digit numbers. What 2 numbers could she be adding? What 2 numbers could she be adding? Circle the correct answer. That tells me there is only one correct answer. Do you know what you're going to have to do to solve this problem? You're going to have to figure out which of these number sets could be the numbers that she adds together to get this solution. That means you're going to kind of have to work backwards, or you're going to have to solve all 4 of these before you can figure out which one is correct. Okay, so you're going to pause the video. You're going to solve these problems to see what you would get if you did A, B, C, and D, and see if you can come up with that answer. All right, pause the video. It's going to take you a little while, but go ahead and work this out. All right, I hope you found that the correct answer was C, 521 plus 278. And the way I found out what the correct answer was is I worked out every single one of these problems, and even though I came up with C before I went on to D, I went ahead and checked D just in case. Here's where I checked D, because, you know, sometimes I don't do the correct addition and I have to go back and check myself. So I could see that D was not going to be the correct answer and that I was right with C. So I hope you got that too. All right, let's move on to number 3. Number 3 says find 563 plus 127. Fill in the chart. Then complete the equation. Okay, so now this time you're not going to do expanded form where you're writing the values, okay? You're just saying how many hundreds there are, how many tens, how many ones. Pretend you're using the place value blocks, okay? So let's go ahead and we're going to put 563 here in this top row, and then we'll put 127 in their places in the bottom row. And remember, you're not going to tell me the value of each one. You're going to tell me how many, basically how many place value blocks there would be, and then get your final answer over here. So pause the video, go ahead and get to work, and then come back and see how we compare. Okay, here we are. I hope you got the same thing I did. And when we plug 563 in, we know that's 5 hundreds, 6 tens, and 3 ones. 127 is 100, 2 tens, 7 ones. When I added my hundreds together, 5 plus 1 gets me 6. When I added the tens, I saw that 6 plus 2 is 8. And when I added my ones, I saw that 3 plus 7 is 10. Before I came up with my final answer of 690, I noticed that the 10 would actually be moved over to add 1 10 to the 8, which would give me 9 tens and 0 ones. So that's how I knew the answer was 690. And I hope you got that correct too. All right, let's move on to the next one. The next one is a number line. Now, we can just do this one real quickly together. I'm not going to make you do this one on your own. And it says, write the missing numbers on the open number line, then write the addition equation that the number line shows. I can tell that I am adding up, okay, and that I've started with the number 632. So let's go ahead and write 632 here. And now the jumps are what I'm adding together, okay? So whatever's here, here, and here, I'm going to be adding those 3 numbers up to put on this line, okay? So now let's take a look and see. 632 plus 2 more hundreds. Well, 600 plus 200 is 800. So this answer right here is 832. Okay, so that's what I get when I add 200 to 632. I get 832. Now, let's see, they're going to hop from 832, they're landing at 862. So the 3 tens has turned into 6 tens. So 3 plus 3 is 6, right? So that means they added not 3, but they added 30. So that's going to go there. And then their final jump was 862 plus 9 more, right? So 9 plus 2 is 11. And that means I have to carry a 10 over into the 6. So that gives me 871 as my answer, because 862 plus 11 plus 9, 862 plus 9 more. Okay, I know that 9 plus 2 is 11. So I would carry one of that 10 over to that 10's place. That gives me 7 there and an 8 there. So it's 871. So they've added all together 200 plus 30 plus 9. So they added 239. And the final answer was 871. If you need to pause the video to write that in, you go right ahead. But we're going to move on to the next problem. And it looks like I've made a little smudge right there. Okay, let's read. It says use the information in the box for problem 5 and 6. Problems 5 and 6. So here's the box. All right, here we go. It says choose an album. Album A holds 225 photos. Album B holds 275 photos. And album C holds 375 photos. Now, what do they want us to do? It says Carmen has 172 photos of her family. She also has 153 photos of her friends. Which photo album will hold all of her pictures? That means we have to add, and we're going to write this in, we have to add 172 plus 153, and whatever that answer is, we're going to find it over here in our box. It's either going to be album A, B, or C. So you're going to set this up doing expanded form to get your answer. So we're going to do 172 plus 153. You're going to write your expanded form and get your answer and figure out, is it album A, album B, album C? You will write the final answer right here, telling me if it's album A, B, or C. Go ahead and pause the video, fill in your expanded form chart, and get your answer. Okay, I hope you found that the answer was going to be album C because it holds more photos than the other two albums. And my total number of pictures was 325. And so album A would not hold 325, would it? Because it only can hold 225. And album B only holds 275. So I knew that those were not going to be enough storage space for all the photos for Carmen. So album C is the correct answer. Now, look at problem 6. Problem 6 says to write your own problem about the photo albums in problem 5. Have a partner solve your problem. We are not going to do that, so we are actually done with our lesson for today. So you can just put a big X through that one, and you do not have to bother with that one today. So I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. And please go back over your pages for lesson 13 and kind of review how to solve these problems, and you will be totally ready for tomorrow's quiz. So until the next time, have a wonderful day. Bye.